That's on the ambulance service and billing. Mr. Gary, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, Wayne had talked to some different billing services when he was in Savannah back in April. And so he talked to a company that bills according to what they collect. And that's kind of what we were looking for. And he had me to call several counties and find out what, that use this company and find out what they, how they felt. And out of all of the different ones, I talked to 3 EMS directors, 3 county administrators, and 1 person who's in the county department. And every last one of them said they were pleased with what this company does. And everyone that I talked to said that the billing actually increased for this company. This company supplies the laptops for the EMS and all the technical support for that. They just said they had great follow-up. They do all the training of the EMS team. Several said that basically they do what they say they will do. Some of them, they even go back and look at prior bills and rebuild some of that. Some money was recouped from that. One company's been using them since 2005. One had been using them for about a year. One's been using them for 8 years. One started in 2014.
I had talked to probably 5 different ones at the last ACCG meeting, and 3 out of the 5, they want to charge for they bill it. They want to charge a percentage, no matter where you collect it or not. So you be paying them for money you never collected. This company only charges a percentage of what they collect or what we collect. They don't handle the money. The money comes here, and then we take and figure out how much came in that month, and they get a copy and they figure it up, and then we write the check and pay them. That's 7.5%.
7.5% if they provide the laptops and the technical support for those.
The only thing I didn't ask Monty and Gary, y'all might called it and I didn't. They come for 2 to 3 days and train every one of your employees that's on board now. But a new hire, then I reckon it'd be up to the person that works with him to train him, because they didn't say.
They didn't specify one way or the other, so.
Okay. Did you hear anything, Gary, on that part?
It says emergency billing shall provide any ongoing training to client staff in regards to software documentation, billing procedures, and processes. So that's ongoing.
Yeah. And, but the laptops that we have with these dirt roads and everything, we have ours, they're not like this one, are they, right?
Well, they're not as good quality as what
Yeah, it's
they
heavy.
showed us.
Yeah, it's heavy duty, and if you bust one, they send you another one overnight. So, and it's got software loaded on it and everything. If we, that comes with the 7.5%. You can furnish your own laptops, and it drops to 7%. Right. And that's with them still furnishing the software. And then if we do software and computers, it's 6.5%. You know, Kathy's had about a year away from retiring, and she's having to be out a good bit with her dad. And just based on all of this is one reason we're kind of looking into this, just to see that the thing I like about this, and I told her this earlier, is that she's here and will continue to be here, and if we transition to this and find out this is not what they told us, then she's still here and we could revert back to the way we were.
And get somebody trained.
Right, right.
And
So we
60 days or 30 days in the contract there.
I think it was 30 days.
I think it is too, but I didn't want to say it. I didn't bring my package.
I want Carla to have this and look over before we do anything if we decide.
Yeah, I know. This is new. It's new to everybody, but
Yeah.
Ronnie and and Gary, myself, we were here and met with the people. And I'd been home, but I forgot to get that off my desk and bring it back with me. But that's why I didn't want to make a wrong statement. I believe it's 30 days that we can get out. We give them a 30-day notice.
You can have it. Wayne's got, don't you have another
Yeah,
copy of
I
that?
got a copy of mine that I had at the house, yeah.
Ms. Kathy, it is your intention to retire within a year?
By July next year, yes. 11 months.
And make sure I understand, if anything, by July next year, that you go into retire. And then if something was to happen or whatever, you might retire earlier than this.
It depends on my daddy. He's
Okay,
in
well-
hospice care right now.
Yes, ma'am. And I knew that's what I had been told, but I wanted the others to hear. You know what I'm saying? It, okay.
So for my own benefit, if it's okay, can I ask Kathy about it? Do you know anything about this company? I mean, are they going to be doing, just because I don't know what all you do and what all they say they do, the same thing? Are they doing the exactly same thing as you did, and no more, no less? Or, I mean, is it just,
I had never heard of it until they came to my office the other day. From what I talked to them about, all they're gonna be doing is billing. They're just gonna bill the claims. They'll do follow-up on rejections and things like that. They're not gonna do any kind of record keeping, maintenance, you know, patient records and things like that.
okay. But everything you do in billing, they'll be doing?
Not everything. They're just gonna bill the claims. The money's gonna be coming back here.
Yep.
So somebody's gonna have to deal with the money here. I didn't have enough chance to talk with them because the day they came, I didn't know that they were coming. I didn't know anything about this, so I wasn't prepared for any of that. So I didn't have the questions that I needed and that they needed. I just had a limited amount of time because I had to go back to Douglas and meet with my daddy's doctors. But I don't know who's gonna be posting the payments. Now, I don't know if they're gonna post the pay, if the money's coming back here, it sounds to me like somebody here is gonna have to be posting those payments and making sure the payments are right.
Yeah, I
So-
think that what we do is reconcile it at the end of each month.
Each month.
That's what I understood.
She said that we have a PO box number for the bills to be sent into, and the same thing, they won't be here to run a copy like that they had asked you about doing it on the new machine that you got. What was it?
Gene machine.
Scanning it, like all the records that you keep. They won't be doing that, where you have to keep them for 10 years, and then to a child's 21 years old, I
Right,
think.
right.
But like running, y'all run on average 6 trips a day, something, is that right?
Yeah,
Give or take 8, it just some
we
kind of number.
we average between 2 and 250 a month.
Okay, and, so, but then the billing part, and then a lot of them, they don't bill, because they get there and they turn around out of them, 8 a day, just say 10 a day, that's 300 a month. Or not, and so, you only have been billing the ones that they bill, that's correct, or that's all we bill, right?
Right.
All right, then, they said that we collect the money, and then they get a copy when it pays, and they know too, and then we turn it in the month, and then they send a statement of what we owe them for their percentage of what we collected. And we would have someone that still had to take and scan the things and put in the file, and to do the paperwork. And they said that most people, a lot of people, what they had told us here that day, that they was in the commissioner's office or over at the courthouse, and they come pay there, or they come and take, get anything that they need, you know, from there.
Okay, we're probably not talking about the same thing. Y'all are talking about reconciling the money that's collected. As in you just got $30,000 that's collected. What I'm talking about is that money's got to be divvied out among 100 and something patients. So who's gonna be doing that? Because that payment has got to be credited to that particular patient's account. You can't just put it on a file down here and say, well, we got $35,000 this month. That $35,000 may be paying over 100 patients' accounts.
Yeah,
So
well, I mean,
who's gonna do that? That was my question.
the same person that would be, that takes and going to run, what they told us in other places, because I have never done this before, that the person doesn't have to be, that you're not doing the billing, you're not calling Medicare, Medicaid and all that, they handle that. That person that opens the mail, makes the deposit, takes and looks there at what Medicare number, patient number it is, and credit to that account, and then they deposit in the bank, and then they turn around and the same thing I said, that for the records that you have to keep for people for 10 years or to they 21, what you mean by that record, if I'm correct, is you have to run everything in a file under that person's name, a baby's name, just so they're a year old, for 20 more years. And every time that they go to get it, or anything that comes in there with that name, you have to add to that file. Is that correct?
No, you're talking about like a doctor's office file. Now, our records are kept by day and month. They're not kept in Ronnie Jower's file, every trip he's got. No, ours are kept by day and month.
So all those files that you had the other day that you were showing us in there, then it's done by the day's work.
Right.
And then you have to pull up on the computer and look up what day it was done, and then go over there and get it. And if it was done in July the 20th of this year, and then they had done it on January the 10th, then you gotta go to another file and pull to January the 10th to get it out for that day.
Right. If a patient's got 10 trips, it's gonna be in 10 different places based on year and month.
In other words, you're still gonna have someone in your place, right?
If you're gonna maintain the records the way the law says you have to maintain them. Because you have to have those records accessible. They have to be behind locked doors. They have to be where bugs and things can't eat them up, because you may have to have a copy of it later on. Because what he's saying about the law is if they transport a baby today, you got to keep that record until that baby gets 21 years old plus 10 years, because they have up to their 21 to go back and sue somebody for something that could have been done wrong.
And they're protected records, it's not like they keep both of them because of all your HIPAA laws.
And they have to be kept so that copies can be made on clear copies during that time.
They're not gonna do that, this kind
No,
of.
no.
What are we
Well,
doing?
it'd be cheaper to let her start training somebody right now.
Well, if you do, then, when you say what you're gaining, you spending much time trying to collect money and talking to Medicare and Medicaid and insurance companies is you doing the record work, don't you? And then these people's going to be doing that. And they said that, and I haven't went to these counties and asked them.
Well, have they been one doing Miss Kathy's job, or have they been two?
One for years.
Back in those,
What have you
oh,
wanted?
when I
Well,
was in it, she was
the
one
other
of them.
people's got them in the courthouse, and they do the work there and do another work too, because it don't take a full-time person.
Oh, if you don't do the billing, it don't take.
Or arguing with Medicare, Medicaid, just like she just said, if she puts in 40 hours, 18, 20, or 24 this week, mail in on the phone with Blue Cross. If you call Blue Cross Blue Shield, I have this week, you can stay on there 2 or 3 hours and to get them, and then they're gonna call you back, and they still ain't called back.
You agree with that, Ms. Kathy?
With what he just said?
Yes,
A
ma'am.
lot of my time is spent on the phone with Medicare, Medicaid and all that. Which is why I just talked with Gary before we came in here. It'd be a wonderful thing to contract out the building, but you're still gonna have to have somebody that's gonna have to do a certain amount of this.
I agree with that. Well, we know that, somebody, yeah.
Well,
I think what Wayne's trying to say, Jerry and Steve, is these people are potentially, or this is what I was told today and
But they,
before. They really up on everything, and they have the potential to maybe collect more money by knowing all the tricks of the trade, I guess you'd say.
But even if we go then, we still need her to be training somebody to do the other part.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, just the part, that part, wouldn't be as hard to train as somebody to do the other part, the billing and all that, right?
When you do the building, you have to keep up with all, because there's constant changes.
Right, like I said, they constantly going through.
Plus, my understanding from you is that you're about at the end of your capacity as it is. I mean, you have told me you need somebody else to help.
Right, I had somebody to help for a year, 20 years probably. The last person was 5 years ago, and she quit to go teach school, and after that, I was told that the county couldn't afford anybody else, so I've had to do it by myself.
Because
Up until then, I had somebody 25 to 29 hours a week, just doing filing and doing statements and things like that, because that takes that amount of time.
They actually told us that they were surprised, I mean, that she could handle it all.
Well, my grandchildren and my husband helps me with statements and filing and things like that, because that's the only way I can do it. One person can't do all that, so for 5 years, that's who's helped me. So y'all still gonna have to have somebody to do some of those things.
Yeah.
All right, can I ask you this, that what they had told us in here, that a person that don't have to stay on phone and do the billing, but to do the deposit, you know, go get the mail each day, deposit it, and do these records and filing, that, because I know used to, you made, photostatic copy and filed it up and everything and put it in. I mean, my God, you got 30, filing cabinets over there, and I think you told me you had stuff at the road department, and then in another room too somewhere? Okay, so probably this room, that, out there where y'all at, you got that much filed up.
Right.
And, but they told us that it would take a person, on the average of 20 to 22 hours a week to do that part. Would that be close to being,
That's probably.
I mean, I'm going, because I ain't never done this.
Right.
I'm going off what they told us. And-
That, I would say that would be about right, because like I said, I used to have somebody that worked 25 to 29 hours, and they did that part.
Okay.
Some of those files right now could be shredded, because you can shred files when they get the age. But the thing about that, you just can't go into a cabinet and pull them out and shred all of them. You got to look at the birth date and see how old that
Well,
file is.
all right.
You got to see how old that patient was. So somebody's got to sit there and look at those birth dates, and then if it's not old enough, you got to put it back, and then that's the process.
But that's why that I told you the other day, and then I had told Gary, that if we going to do this, and then Steve made a statement a while ago, that if this don't turn out as like we thought it was gonna turn out, then we'll still, you'll be here a year unless something happens.
Right.
During that year, and you're not having to be on the telephone 20 hours a week, how much shredding and junk that you get out of there that
Right.
we don't have to have?
That's true.
And
And I told Gary a while ago, if y'all make this decision to hire them, I'll be happy. What did I say I would do? Turn cartwheels?
And
Save a lot of
Here.
I can't
No
speak on
woman.
that.
let me go ahead and call
I said that,
911.
it's just
I said they just
what
went out on
Oh,
call.
okay. I didn't hear that, but I was gonna go ahead and call them. And,
No, it would be, to me, it'd be
that's me
wonderful.
doing a flip, and then my belly bust my nose.
If y'all are on contract just for somebody to do the billing,
Yeah,
and then me stay there and do all that for right now, and see if it's gonna work. To me, that's a good solution.
I mean, if we done this, and I mean,
But you're still
anytime.
gonna have to train someone. to-
Right,
Yeah.
there'll still have to be somebody
Right.
trained, and that's why I wanted to be here today to clarify that. Because I didn't want y'all to think now that you're not gonna have somebody here, because you are. To keep,
But
there's more to it than just billing a claim, that was the whole.
Two, if we find out this doesn't work, we can revert back to the original way.
And then you train somebody to take your place before you leave.
Okay,
yeah.
But, and then you go to class once a year, or used to to Orlando, already, per person.
Per
Per
person.
person.
Yeah.
What you can't do is lose a bunch of.
Well, no, we're not doing this.
James is the one to say.
It's just the new hires, is what, this is what what they had recommended, that all of these guys will stay just like they are.
No, we can't.
Yeah, we don't want to,
I'm not,
we're not for that.
Yeah, you can't, yeah.
The problem is, are you gonna be able to find someone to do
Well,
it?
that's what worries me. I mean, that's what concerns me.
That's what concerns me, is it's gonna be hard to find
Well, our problem
quality
is,
paramedics.
they're doing it in Appling, you said, and the same way.
Bacon,
So,
Almer, Baxley, and Almer and Hazelhurst, it's been this way.
right,
It was
so,
probably that way when you was there with Getty.
No, but let me make a comment, because I have been on both sides, so I can see both sides. I did take call, we worked 3-day rotation back then, and I can tell you that when you're on call, you cannot do anything else. Because you have got to be able to hear your phone or whatever, so for 24 hours, Even though you may not be at the ambulance service working, you are not gonna sleep good, you are not gonna be able to do anything you're gonna do at your house normally, because you've got to be able to be back over there in 15 minutes. And that means you got to stay right ready to go for 24 hours. And to go back and pay somebody $1 an hour for that kind of obligation, to me, is crazy. Because I've been on both sides, and it's really hard to do that. And if he's gonna get somebody and they're gonna work side by somebody that's getting paid time and half, and they're only gonna be getting $1 for that same amount, who you gonna get that's gonna do that? That's my thing.
You know, I'm a little bit pretty nervous about it.
It's gonna be nervous to find somebody, then you say, well, you know, just Hazelhurst and Almer and Baxley's got it. And the other, I mean, if you cross the river, it tunes in different ways, you know, that some of them don't pay it that way. But, like you just said, that, I'd hate to know that I was working the same shift that Ronnie was, and when he gets off in the morning, he's gonna get 8 hours.
And you're
And
gonna
if
get,
he gets called back, I'm gonna get $24, and I got to stay around, can't go mow grass, because you can't hear it on
You
light
gotta stay on the
lawnmower,
same
you can't
thing
hear
he's
the
on
lawn
for
ring.
that amount
And
of
then you
time.
can't be dirty to come to, you know,
Well, I've talked to some other counties that are EMTs, not even paramedics, that are getting paid more an hour than what we pay on these paramedics. Unless they were lying to me.
well, I just, whatever county they're from, you can call one of the commissioners there, and they get it
They-
read that paper.
This boy, and he's worked here some too, he said he made 14 an hour, and he's just a paramedic.
I mean, you mean EMT?
he's an EMT.
Yeah, EMT, yeah, not a paramedic.
He's here full-time.
Well, why would somebody work in Toombs County instead of won't work over here?
They make more money.
And they don't have call, do they? A lot of
They
these,
make more
like
money,
Coffee
but
County, they don't have to
They
be
don't
on
have
call.
hours, they get off.
Sir?
I make more money if they get $1 an hour. you know?
No, they don't get $1 an hour.
When they
They
get
don't
off
have
that
call.
24-hour shift, they
They
do
don't have
anything
call.
they
They
want
don't have
to.
to be on call.
They don't have those.
They don't have on call, they got to be staying.
Coffee County doesn't have on call because they got 5 ambulances in the county running,
Well, they got
Toombs
7 in
County's got
Toombs.
7, so that's why they don't have to be on call.
They use Montgomery, I think it is.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
Would you come out cheaper the other way or cheaper the way they, if you had more?
It's about $8,300.
I mean, well, I ain't talking about.
Well, they saying that, but having that,
They don't have to be on call.
If you put it up in
They got, that's the thing, they got more trucks and more
more,
people.
they ain't no way you can hire enough people now, listen. He's beating his head against the wall trying to get two. Am I telling the truth?
You are correct.
And to take and say that we don't, that's the cheapest way, unless you started doing it gradually, hiring 2 extra and letting 2 come off that don't want to be on call and phase it out little by little, but, I don't, you couldn't make it work that if you turn around and said, we ain't gonna have no more on call in Hazelhurst. And
You'd have to do a different schedule.
could
than
you
what
hire
we do.
enough people?
At the rate of pay we at now?
Yeah.
Probably not.
And then not only that, then you hire enough people that way, then they got benefits. And if we start hiring the benefits in with the insurance and the vacation and the retirement and all, it's more than what we, ACCG, and I am not going off on anything they done. Please don't get me wrong. And when they say it's $83, $85, or $8,000, they did in this hand, but they didn't look at the whole picture.
They didn't look at the whole picture and a lot of things they done.
Okay, well, I'm just
I'll
talking,
put that out there for
we
you.
couldn't, how many full-time employees you got?
How many full-time?
Full-time employees, not counting your part-time that
As
comes.
of today, I have 7, because 1 left last week.
You got 8 is full staff.
Right.
So then that, and you got some EMTs that comes in, that work part-time.
That's correct.
Okay, and so you would need 8 more paramedics if we wasn't on call with the 8 that you're supposed to already have.
That's
So you need 16, so that's 8 more that we would have full-time paying benefits. Then we're not even talking about the EMTs that's going off shift and on this,
You wouldn't need 8 more.
and, huh?
You wouldn't need 8 more. Nobody did the math, there wouldn't be 8 more. You might need 4 more, but you wouldn't need 8 more.
or if he come in on, then I'll put it this way, if he works 24 today running,
Yeah.
and he ain't on call on Tuesday, then, all right, so we got to have another shift comes in. All right, then Wednesday, he's cutting, they get 3 days off. Because Monday he worked, he's on duty. Tuesday, he's on call. Wednesday, he can go work in.
You wouldn't be on call if you had it in there.
No, that's if we did. Okay, that's what I'm getting at, but then you got,
If you want to do that, then what we doing now?
it would.
A lot more.
I done said to figure it out.
All right, that
I think if we could get better help out of our part-time
But they make more money.
paramedics, we could do better, because what happened is somebody's out and none of them are available, then Ronnie has to come back in, and that's what really runs up the overtime, is when you have the guys that are already getting the overtime, working double duty, it really eats into your budget. If we could get part-timers that could come in and fill in a little bit better, because we've talked about that, where somebody's on vacation, you can't get anybody to come, well, the guys who were there, they have to, some of them have to do it. So that would be the, if we could help that, that would help us offset any of this other too.
That deal, if you can get them with emergency and then none of them comes, you're in a mess.
Well, what I was getting at a while ago, that if Ronnie was on Monday, he works 24, then Tuesday he's on call, so he's getting 8 hours to be on call Tuesday. Well, then Wednesday, he's off. But if somebody takes off vacation, and between Ronnie and Cabinets, you probably got 3 or 4 of y'all that get 3 weeks.
Vacation, that's correct. Most, well, there's probably,
They have for them.
there's at least 4 or 5 of us that gets 3 weeks.
And then, just say that Ronnie's gonna take off, then we can't, these other people that's in these counties, like Toombs County, and they work 24, and they off the next day, then they come back in the 3rd day and work there, and then they probably done got another job in Atlanta or another county, that they work in 2 days in Toombs and 1 to 2 days in another county.
Which is what makes the part-time difficult.
The part-time to get, and we get a good bit more money if there's a paramedic on every ambulance, don't we, Miss Kathy?
Well, it depends on what you call
Well,
it.
it's which
Used
one?
to, if a paramedic's on there, you automatically got the highest rate. That's one of the changes that's come now, you don't do that no more. It doesn't matter. You get paid now depending on dispatch. And of course, if you don't have a paramedic on there, you're not gonna get that higher rate, but just having a paramedic now does not automatically mean you get that higher rate like it used to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's been a couple of years.
Yeah, that changed.
Okay,
That's one of the many
I know-
things that's
I know
changed.
before that we've been told that
Right.
here, and that,
That's why we pushed hard to get paramedics.
I think that we, personally, that we need to, because I wouldn't feel right if Ronnie hired me, and you've been there for 1 year, you got hired last year,
You ain't
and
gonna have
you,
nobody to stay long.
no, I'd be looking for something else.
Well, this never come up. I mean, they've been doing this for years. The Doug East come in here. And he started messing and going and messing with it, and that's when it exploded. Well, if you call Toombs County and talk to Toombs County about Doug East and the EMS, he don't like EMS, and he'll do whatever he can to mess with it, and that's exactly what.
Get 2 days a week on the same.
Well, what I need from y'all is to say that we're gonna continue the same, so I know what to do, because that's why this came up, is all this time we had any turnover, and I need direction, so we need to.
All right, so we either need a motion to leave it like it is.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Jerry,
I say.
got a second from Brad, all in favor? Unanimous. Discuss approve the LB project. There's a list there, Robert wrote it. The roads, we're gonna have to take and, go through them. They were the old list somewhere, but we can't find it. but,
You know, I just asked Robert to kind of give me a list of top 10 roads. According to the top one is what he considered in the worst shape, so we'd have something to talk about, and of course, y'all are looking around each of your districts as
Yeah.
well.
I would like to ask each one of us, but if we would take and write all 10 roads that's on this. Now, leave off, on the, LMIG, or the TIA, I'm sorry, on the TIA, we got I'm pretty sure, and I don't have it in front of me, the Elizabeth Church Road, Satilla Church Road, Philadelphia Church Road,
Right, that's the three.
and ain't they one more?
No, it's 3 roads.
It's 3 roads, okay.
They're all in the church.
On tier 3 of the T money, T-Splosh money, we got those 3 church roads.
You got which one?
That's Elizabeth Church Road, Satilla Church, and
You say Philadelphia?
and Philadelphia Church, Philadelphia Methodist
How
Church.
many of y'all rode that pine up the church road?
And no, this on here, ain't it?
I thought it was.
No,
Okay, hold on.
this post road, we crossing like 2 pine road.
Okay.
That road is
All
off.
right.
These is on tier 3,
No, them one,
Them
yes,
three,
yeah, I'm on,
yeah.
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 Philadelphia Methodist Church Road, Elizabeth Baptist Church, from Roseburg over to the Bell Telephone Road, and Satilla Church. Satilla Church, when you turn off Almer Highway, they're 2 bad spots, but, and I can tell you, like we have talked before, it's not gonna collect up for us to get all the money on those, so we need to keep that in mind, unless, something changes. And the lower gas goes, the less taxes on the gas, and it's gonna reduce it even more.
The
How much I-
church road ain't near as bad
Which
as
one?
Pine Level.
Which one's the
Still, not near as bad as Pine Level.
Oh, you
We didn't have 2 wrecks on
Gas
that.
is on gallon, not on price.
I don't know that one on here.
Yeah.
I know.
On
That's
on
what it
the,
used to be.
the tax money
It's on gas, not on price.
is on the gallon
Gallon,
per.
not on
It's
price.
about as bad as that Bridgeville Church Road is in spots.
Well, those are already on the list, though. We're talking about the year after that.
Right.
Yeah, all right, so,
Well, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
the kitchen landing is the roughest one I've ever looked
they,
at. And the next roughest one is them 2 spots down on that Burton Ferry.
well,
And this wouldn't be all the roads. I mean, we have the
Yeah.
SPOS money, so this could be the beginning of one to wherever it'll go, and then, so you don't look at it as just a one.
what I want to ask each one of you, and then we come back and vote on it on our monthly meeting, is not just the one in your area, ride each one of these roads and grade it 1 through 10, and then we come back and we talk about it and we vote ones that, this W.E. Corson Road, it don't even have no shoulders on it. I mean, they eat off, and that's mine, and I know it, so, but I mean, there's some of these roads that, Pipeline Road, I know where it's at, it's down there off Post Road going to, over to Almer and all, but, the Leon Wiles Road, the Yon Road is worse than, it's got / Yon Road, it turns into it. But the Yon Road itself is worse than the, Leon Wiles Road up on this end.
I mean, it's in bad shape, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that water is just standing in the middle of it, I mean, when it rained like
It's
it
gonna
rained
start
this
really
week.
coming apart.
Yeah, and so that's why I say that, I think that, each one of us needs to try to write it, unless y'all got a different idea.
I haven't been on all of them, but Dick has been on that, the kitchen landing.
Yeah.
Well,
And I've been on most of these others. That area, it's just that one spot though, man.
Well, I see, that's what I'm trying to say. You leave the substation
That's
at
right.
Plessy Landing Road, and you go all the way past Olin Wooten's and past the trailer park
That's
at
right.
Galvin Harrison, it's fine.
It's fine,
But-
it's that one section.
Well, I think there are 2 sections, I think there's another little one.
They want it
No,
terrible.
no, that's terrible when you get there, go back to the old dump, from there to that road that goes to the church, what's the name of it? Goes to Eureka Church, the name of that road, is it Eureka Church Road?
That's right.
Okay, I thought it might have been, I didn't want to call it, but from where you turn to go back to the dump, to the Uvalde Highway to the right, and then to the dirt road that you turn left, Eureka, it's awful. You might well take a hair and hair it up.
And then like on the Market Ferry Road, really and truly, there's really been two really bad, I think I'm right, really bad spots.
And that's why I say that we need to ride it and then like get right on them roads. That, because the same thing says Town Bluff. Town Bluff's probably a 4-mile road, 5-mile road. They know there were 5 places that less than a quarter of a mile, 4 places that you could fix it and you wouldn't have but a mile. See, that's about 100,000. If you done that 5-mile road at 100,000, that's $500,000. Is that in agreement with everybody to ride them and see?
I'd rather just fix sections and not have one whole road. That's
That's
right.
it.
You get
That's
a lot
what I'm
more
talking
done
about.
if you do that.
That's right.
Do we get off?
And I look at the ones that are heavy traffic, and that pine level, I mean, that's, everybody works. Got Davis County, Lake County, Athens County, they run that road, and we done had 2 wrecks, they're on kind of potholes, almost a truck, jacked off and shot through the wood.
All right. The agreement says, we don't vote on nothing, that we all write them, look at them, and, come back and discuss them and put what we, the mileage of it and everything, and see what we can get on this LD. We need to get it in. Hofstadter said that the quicker we get it in, the quicker we can get it done. And I sure like the person we got doing it now, and hope that they'll be around here. Done a good job on all them roads. All right, number 4, discussed ROW status for the Hatton Steel Road. This is on the land that was bought to build the solar panel. And they have bought the property and came back in and wanted for what they paid for it, for the amount that we need to build the Hatton Steel Road. And,
If I could, in my opinion.
okay,
But, just so I'm clear, because I think this is the case, and I'm gonna throw y'all at the speed too, and all this on the same page. What we did, this is on the Hatton Steel Road, and we're all familiar, we had to get right-of-way deeds from all the landowners around here. Or on either side, or on the side where they changed back for us many times, but anyway, at this point, everyone has signed, to my knowledge, except for 2, is that
yes,
correct?
ma'am, that's
And the
correct.
one we're talking about, I guess, here to talk about today is the solar, I call them solar panel people, because forgive me, I'm not sure exactly the name of.
Silicon.
They call it
Ranch,
silicon. But different things, I mean, different things.
It could be, I don't know. Now, to my knowledge, and I don't have the exact number that have been signed to date, do you know, Gary, is it like 5 or 6 that have been signed? We have only paid one person out of those 5 or 6. The rest of those people, they're citizens who donated. They were sent a letter, this is what your property has been determined to be worth, just like we sent to all the other people. Thus far, 2 people have wanted to be paid for it. One of them was a mobile home company out of Reedsville, so they weren't local. But, and then now the Silicon who not only wants to be paid, from what I understand, they want to be paid more than what the fair market value of the property is, because they're saying because they paid, in my opinion, ridiculous amount of money for the land, which I am, but they're wanting to be compensated for that. Not so much the value of what the land was at the time they bought it, but for what they paid for the land. So that's just where, to catch y'all all up to speed, where we are on this. But I did want y'all to know that all of the citizens of Jeff Davis County donated their land, and not one of them asked to be paid when they were all offered the amounts of money.
I've talked with someone.
I thought that y'all needed to know that.
They've been fighting this thing for 20 years, they was glad to get
That's right.
keep it.
The piece of land was worth whatever it brought. Or it
To
was
those,
from, yeah,
exactly,
that's
it
right.
was. Not to him it
That's
was, but it
exactly right.
wasn't to me or to whoever the appraiser
That's
was.
kind of like
I
selling a
guess.
vehicle, whatever you can get out of it. That's what it's for.
That's what we're like I said.
Well, it's a little different situation, though. I understand what you're saying, but, most of the people that lived on that road, wanted that road paved.
These people
Maybe
could care
they-
less.
These people don't care. I mean, they don't care if it stays there forever. So do we wanna get in litigation for these people and hold up the whole project for these other people, or do we wanna just,
You could condemn the property. I mean, you know, you can go through.
how long is that gonna take?
It takes 6 to 8 months.
Don't they have the right to reject?
I mean, the judge decides how much you want.
That's what I'm
Right, but
saying.
their property will be condemned one way or another.
Right, and they condemn, but they can also carry it to court, can't they?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If they want to come through my house and I didn't want to sell what they built got, I sure wouldn't want nobody to condemn it, take it, because it's mine, and I don't say I should have that. I mean, they ain't every one of you in this, sitting around this table, if they come pay by your house and they gonna come up to your front door, it's gonna be willing to give them the land.
Well, most people that road's going by their house, they just give them a few feet, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, they just give them a few feet off the front side of the property. I mean, they ain't giving 12 acres.
But it's not a 12-acre big chunk.
I know, that's still 12 acres.
It's
but
from
they-
one end to the other.
And I'm not so sure, I mean, you go back and I've checked the records on this stuff. People right away deeds on this road have been signed since 1993. I'm not so sure that's something we have to have their signature on this, which is what I've talked to them now about. Because Larry Drawler was the previous landowner, is that not correct?
It was.
Back before Grandma, he signed right away deeds on that still road. So
Don't even go along
if that's
with
the
it.
case,
But
if
they-
that's, it's been recorded that.
I don't know about that now. I mean, nobody's over that anymore.
If he signed a right of way deed to it,
And they brought it with them right away deeds on, and we don't need to be having this discussion.
Well, that's another thing I want to bring up, that's what we got to check into and make sure. I didn't talk about on anything today without, number one, knowing everything else, number two, give me a chance to look at this because if Larry Trial signed it, and it includes everything now, that this new plat or survey where it's looking for, it's a moot point because they didn't,
How could he sold it to start with?
he sold it initially to Mr. Martin.
I don't know, but how could he have sold it if he done give it away?
No, I mean, when he sold his tract of land, there was a right of way deed he signed on that still right.
That may not have been included in what she said.
What it is, whoever done
That
the
property may have
paperwork,
already been gone. It wasn't included in the,
He sold it subject to the right of way
542.
deed to Jeff Davis County.
Right. It's
Well,
not-
I'm pretty
it's
sure
not-
that
it's
they
like
did
grandfather
that.
there.
well, we may not even need to be having this discussion. Yeah, I
Well,
would
that's
love
why
you
we're
to check
having
in.
this discussion.
Yeah,
Because
no, we need all of it on the table.
We are.
and I agree with what you said before, that they bought 1,000 acres and they given, 12
They
acres.
giving up 12, where a lot of people
But-
giving up a 10.
But then you go by that, plus, most of these solar town people was given a grant by the state of Georgia and the federal government to buy these lands and put them in. Those people that bought that 1 acre land and got that mobile home there, they worked at the slip factory, they worked at, the trailer company down there welding, they making anyway. And in the Bible, it says the lady that give the less, give the most, so she give all.
That's
Exactly right.
Well, he does read the Bible that way.
they already listened to the preacher one.
Well, I would definitely like to know that before I would make a decision on this. That hadn't been brought to my attention.
Well, I can say this, that Phil and Miss Sarah Davis said that what the property was valued at, and they don't value the property if it's got a trailer or if it's got a $100,000 home on it. They do the value of the land, and they did. And during that time, Mobley didn't sign it because he was going to sell it, and he done had a money put down on it.
They don't have a binder.
Yeah, done had a binder. So they say that we don't have to give no more than, well, I mean, Steve, they've done y'all's first shop that way, didn't they? The state,
Last,
the one that's across the road where your daddy, where Miss Doc used to be.
well, no, they done that after we moved where we at.
Oh, okay, y'all,
They paid us,
they paid y'all so much for it, y'all moved down and bought, okay. But the state And Hostetter sat right where Brad was sitting, last week and said that, you know, it may take 5 or 6 months, but you won't have to give no more than what it says here. And we had made the counter offer on it, and they didn't want that, so, then, you know, I think that we need to let Carla check into this and find out, and if Larry Trowell had signed it, and the people that done the closing, the lawyer, and didn't find it, and didn't carry it on with it, then that's why.
It doesn't matter, if there's a right-of-way deed recorded down there that Larry Charles signed and the footage is matched, the same as what this right-of-way deed is that they need, then it's a moot point. Now, if the footages are off a little, or if it's different, then we'll have to go back and get a right-of-way deed for that portion if it is less than what they need. But it's probably not the whole thing unless they shoot the road a little different way.
Don't you know that they will search that, maybe they find that?
Apparently they did.
Oh, they ain't got, no, they got too much money for that.
Yeah. I want you to check it.
And the deed may have thought it was the existing right-of-way, and the right-of-way deed may be the existing right-of-way. It may not be the expanded, but until we look at the maps, I don't know that. I can't see or tell you every one together until I see the map. But it's worth looking at before y'all jump out and
Yeah,
say, "Give
Well,
people all this money."
I appreciate you saying that, and telling them before we make decisions, not knowing all about it.
I agree, it's money.
When can you check it out?
Depends on what time we get out here today.
Right now. Is it,
Well, can we find out about it by the next meeting?
Yeah.
yeah, but we need to find out about it, and then you
Yeah,
let
if I don't
each.
find out by the end of the day, I'll find out Monday.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just trying to figure out whether to put it on the next agenda or not.
So, well,
Started dealing with this last thing. Started putting up something.
Man, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They got away from the beginning of it, where you turned that road we paved first, and they went on down. And then, and I had to look, but I don't know if Roger Williams bought the part that he joined.
That's a dumb question.
He done done.
If they get grants and feds for this, why come together and put it in?
I don't imagine we'll
I
show.
don't want to have to deal with that.
I mean, it'd be pretty stupid if they gonna make that kind of money on folk for what?
But I mean, first of all, they got stockholders. We ain't got no stockholders except the people that's in jail paying fine. Okay, we get off track, but yeah. All right, is everybody's in agreement that Carla, Steve, everybody's in agreement? That Carla looks it up and gets back with us, right?
Yes, right.
All right, we adjourn. I'll wake you up. Look.
Okay.
We'll go to my house, I think.
I think I'm gonna go over there and eat
I
something
need
with
to
you
trade
later.
my pigs for ducks.
Over the, Ted did.
I got them little
Are you about to go on vacation?
You
They
said you
got
had-
it in the Southfield, they used to take that, so I think you got money.